was thinking about being new at a job or in a field, and you know how people are quick to give advice, unsolicited. You could even just be trying to get your footing, your bearings, and before you can kind of just let your intuition fill the way and learn through things and, connect the dots yourself. People want to bombard you with their suggestions. And it's one thing to be helpful if someone asks you, I don't understand this. Do you mind giving me a few minutes to, explain this to me? That's helpful when you set aside time or say, yeah, later on today we can talk or we can go through it together. But I think sometimes it's more an ego thing, if I'm being real with you. And I've always felt that sometimes people think they're offering advice, and it's just more about wanting to demonstrate their expertise, their way, to push their way onto you. Because think about it. You have your own way of doing something. Even if you are new, someone could have been doing something for 20 years. But you have your own way of doing it. And it's not really about doing it better than them. It's just your way. As long as you're following the rules, the protocol, whatever, you learn it from the handbook or, but you have your own knack, you have your own skills, you have your own talents, you have your own way. And I just think a lot of times veteran workers or veteran people in a field want to push their way on you in the guise of advice. That's all. I'm just thinking that. And I just wanted to put it out there because I'm sure others, you may not even have put your finger on that. Maybe you just go along to get along. But if you are new somewhere and you do feel pressured from seasoned or veteran workers or professionals or even creators in your field who want to give you advice, you can just politely say, thank you, but I had my own way, and I just want to feel my own way through it without any external influence to pollute or influence or change my experience, because I've been new, and I remember everybody that had been there longer than me, which was everyone, came to me with their way of doing things, their advice and pitfalls to watch out for. And it can be very overwhelming, number one. But number two, to be honest with you, within a few months, the supervisor pulled me aside and said, you've only been here a few months and your caseload or your books or your work is more thorough than people who've been here for 10 years. So that's what I'm just saying. I would never go back and tell those people that, because then it becomes a thing of, oh, what are you trying to say? You're better than me? No, but my point is, don't be so quick to assume that because someone is new, that they are inferior and that they can't do their job very well. That's all. With that, let's see what the tarot has to say to reflect this message that I felt compelled to share with you. So my advice to you, take your own advice. Lead your own way. Four of Pentacles, that can represent holding someone back or holding on, maybe holding on to old ways or your way of doing something. too many. Okay. Three of Pentacles, working together as a team, working with others. Justice came out with the Four of Cups. So maybe with the Four of Cups feeling rejected, and with Justice, I'm going to take this as meaning like balance, letting someone support you or give their advice, not putting up your hand, hold it right there, I don't want to hear from you, not doing that. You don't want to be rude, but at the same time, balancing out, knowing you're taking it with a grain of salt. Hear them out, but then know that you're going to do things your way, you know, and not making them feel rejected for doing that. You know, however you explain to them, thanks but no thanks, or just make sure you keep their feelings into consideration, because you don't want to have a work atmosphere that's hostile. And sometimes that can happen because people just, you know, they're sensitive to ego. They're not seeing that you just need your own space and it's not a competition. They think they're being helpful. I'm telling you, they do. Even when I've been like a seasoned person and there's been new people, I always took that approach. I've never had that notion to want to jump and tell you how to do things or warn you of pitfalls, or it's more of a thing of, I'm here for you. Do not hesitate. I'm right over there. If you need me, if you need, you know, I may do something helpful that I know could help them out. Like maybe give them something in the office that, just thinking back to the, you know, office days, it's what I'm relating to right now. But like maybe some equipment or some, just anything that they could use that I know would make their day smoother. And maybe everybody doesn't have access to these things, but because I know they're new, that's how you can be helpful. But I definitely didn't feel like telling them how to think before they even knew what's entailed, you know. Thank you. Eight of Wands. Fast communication. I don't know why I was thinking fast learning. That's information is communication. So, okay. Page of Swords, that is also a student. So I think, yeah, you may be someone who does learn very quickly. And that might not be accounted for from others too, that maybe it won't take you as long to catch on. Okay, Two of Cups, partnership, maybe making friends, even after this is made to be understood. Maybe you could form a good, authentic working relationship with them, because think about it, you're no longer faking it. It's very draining to have to go, you know, through a work environment where everybody feels like they can just come pile on you with information or pile on you with their way of doing things. When you kind of make it known from the beginning, I'll come to you if I need anything, thank you, but it's better for me to learn and figure it out myself, or, you know, that kind of thing. They know where you're coming from up front. You said it politely and professionally. Now moving forward, you can interact without having pretense involved. That's what I'm getting from you. Okay, then we have the Hermit with the Six of Pentacles. I'm seeing these as opposite directions. You could go within at the job, or in your field as a creator, you can stay to yourself and just not link up with other colleagues, or not create like a soul tribe, or not be part. You could choose to do that, but I don't think you would get as much out of the experience, you know, as you would in a give and take relationship, but just with authenticity, not being afraid to let them know, this is where I stand, this is what I need, and this is what I don't need. You know, I think that this is what these two apply toward this situation. And anything else before we go to the oracle? Thank you. The Emperor. Now, when I saw this, I thought the boss at work, you know, is at the end of the day, that's who you really have to, I don't want to say submit to, but, or please, or impress, but pretty much this is the one that's setting the tone for the office, or setting the guidelines, and this is what you want to be sure that you're in line with. Not so much the colleagues and the co-workers. They are not your boss. You're your boss, really. So make sure you have your stuff in line, make sure everything's straight, and you will just be fine in doing it your way. You can't work someone else's way. You have to work your way. So let's see here. Same thing goes for parenting and anything in life. You cannot do it anyone else's way. You have to do it your way, what's natural to you. And so what if it's not like the others? Okay, let's see. I'm going to go to the animal spirit oracle. Let's see what wants to come out for the situation. Taking initiative, being assertive at work, letting others know that you got this. Respectfully, planning, respectfully, but assertively. Ooh, la la. Okay, wanted to be flipped around, so. Alright. Got yourself organized. Can we get one? Or two at the most? Thank you. Beaver. Let's see what Beaver's about. I don't really remember offhand. Beaver. Hard worker. You can't be real. Hard worker. Wow. Loyal, tireless, family first. The Beaver personality is a welcomed light or welcome sight. These good-natured and dependable creatures have infinite love and enthusiasm for family and express it by way of the earth element, providing a home, financial stability. Although a Beaver doesn't usually initiate a project, once started, they'll work steadily for weeks, months, or years to see it through. The Beaver card appears when the task at hand requires your long-term, steady effort. It can also signify that it's time for some karma yoga, selfless service. Selfless service, okay. When in balance, happy, meaningful work. So I think this applies, when I'm reading this, I'm thinking like, you're already a dependable hard worker. And at the end of the day, that's what counts. The rest you learn as you go. You'll fill it in with your own flavor, your own feel. You'll use your own intuition, and you do not need anyone else's overwhelming advice, warnings of pitfalls that you may never even see. Everybody's experience is not the same. Just because they encountered some things doesn't mean you are going to encounter them. And sometimes by explaining all the pitfalls and all the horrible things that they've been through, you go down that path and you may set your mind to expect those things. and then magnetically attract that to you. That's the other thing that people don't really think about with, you know, these situations. Let's get an Archangel Michael message to round this one out. What are we going to say to our new worker? Or someone need to appeal? Maybe a new recent graduate, a graduate that may be starting their first job, you know? Thank you. Let go of fear now. Archangel Michael, please help me feel safe and deserving of your guidance. Thank you for clearing me of heavy, toxic, or ego-based thoughts or feelings. This can apply to the person who wants to offer help and guidance, as well as the person that is new on the scene. Let go of ego-based fears or ego-based intentions. A lot of times we don't realize it's ego-based. We think it's being helpful, but really at the end of the day, we just want to be right. Or we just want to show this new person that we know so much. You know what I mean? And on the other flip side of it, let go of fear of standing up for yourself, being assertive, and taking initiative, not being afraid to make a mistake. Even if you tell people, you know, I'd rather figure it out my own, it's okay if that involves some mistakes. And then don't worry about if they're sitting back thinking, oh, but I could have saved you from that if you had listened to me. That's not the case. That's nothing. You still have to learn on your own, and every situation does not apply, and therefore you are meant to take your own journey. It's like somebody who's been married 50 years and you're newlywed. She can't possibly set you up with a game plan because your marriage will be completely different from hers. Everybody has to learn on their own time and do things in their own way. That's all. So feel free, be free. Don't let go of the fear, as the card said. And just do your thing and be free about it and enjoy the process. So with that, thank you for listening, and I'll see you next time.